Today we will be creating a series of tutorials in which we'll be creating a bedroom scene. We will be creating all the furniture assets, including wardrobes, beds and drawers. First we will go over some simple modelling techniques such as box modelling, plane modelling and spline modelling. But first let's look over the user interface. There's three main elements in interface which we will use most often. That is the move tool, rotate and scale tool. So let me just demonstrate those tools first. First I'm just going to create some simple geometry in a standard primitive box here. And a cylinder. Now the first tool is the select and move. We can move our object in three various axes. That's the x-axis, the y-axis, and if we rotate the camera, the z-axis. We can also scale our object using the hotkey R. That can scale in various axes such as the y, the z, and the x. And also rotate using hotkey E or select and rotate at the top here. And again, that can rotate in the three axes. There we go. We will use these three tools the most through our series of tutorials. So I would get used to the hotkeys, which again are W for select and move, E for rotate, and R for scale. There's two other tools which we'll use mostly throughout the set of tutorials, and that is the snaps tool and the layer tool. First I'll go over the layer tool. It can be opened here at the top, manage layers. If you just toggle this on, it will have a little dialog box open. You can widen this box by just holding down the left mouse button and dragging. Now we have one layer which is default, and default layer, as you can check by the tick box here, is all the objects we've created so far. And it has some quick options which are nice if your scene is very cluttered, such as hide. You can hide your objects, and freeze, so I can't select these objects. So now what we're going to do is create a new layer. So if we select the sphere, for example, and click create new layer, and let's name this sphere. Let's click the cylinder, create new layer, and cylinder, and the box. Let's just keep this default. Now you can tell which layer new objects will be added to by the tick box. So I can click the cylinder, so anything I create, say if I create a torus, if I hide the cylinder, the torus will follow, or freeze. And if I make a mistake and add an object to a layer which I don't want, I can click torus and move it to a different layer, select that layer, select this, and add. That will take that and add it to this layer. The layer tool can come in handy if your scene is very cluttered, so I recommend getting to grips with the layer tool. The next tool we're going to use is snaps. So first is the snaps toggle. What this will do is we'll snap to the grid. If I hit G on my keyboard, it'll turn the grid on, and I can snap it to the grid points. But I can change the parameters if I right click the snap toggle, and it'll bring up a grid and snap settings. Now I can snap to vertex, the pivot point, the edge or segments, the face, and many more options which you will learn in the future. The two main ones I use are grid points and vertex. The grid, as I showed before, it can snap to any grid. And the vertex, it can snap to a vertex of another object. So if I just select this and snap it to the vertex in the corner, or I can snap it to the other vertex, or again, snap it to this vertex. This is handy if you want to move your objects very precisely. The other main snap tool is the angle snap. So if I just turn off the snap tool here by toggling it on or off, or I can press S on my keyboard, that toggles off snap. The next one is called angle snap. This again will snap your object when you rotate it in increments to whichever you set. So by default it's set by 5. So as you can see, if I turn it on first, it snaps in increments of 5. And if I toggle this off, I can rotate it freely, which is a pain to get very precise increments of degrees. The hotkey for the angle snap is A. So in this tutorial we have looked over the main tools such as select, move, rotate, scale, and the snap tools and the layer tool. All these tools combined will increase the speed of your workflow and will help immensely during your learning stages. In the next tutorial we will begin by modeling a drawer.